Romney hit the jackpot with Paul Ryan. So we'll talk about today. He'll make an incredible, unbelievable vice president. I mean, he is one of the smartest people I've ever met. I find myself in meetings with him, I've had about 3 or 4, having the same attitude toward him that I had when I was meeting with Clinton. You sort of have to race to catch up with what he's saying and be sure that you get it. I recall in one of our meetings, 2 or 3 times, I said, Paul, just stop and repeat what you just said. And he started to elaborate. It said, I don't need the elaboration, just repeat it so I can get it. And then he would repeat it. And brilliant guy. He would be an incredible president of the United States. I kept urging him to run, and he kept saying no. And it's absolutely delightful and wonderful that he could be a heartbeat away from the presidency. In the modern history, the vice president has really become more and more the president's chief of staff. And it depends on the orientation of the administration. In Clinton's administration, Gore, as chief of staff, managed a whole range of initiatives. In the Bush administration, Cheney was really in charge of foreign policy, because that was his background. He was truly the defense secretary, and Rumsfeld was his protege. And then in this administration, the economy and the budget are going to be the main foci, and I think Ryan will functionally be the budget director as well as the vice president. I think it's a terrific choice from that point of view. Now, politically, it's a bold choice. It's a risky one. It could transform the election from a referendum on the economy to a referendum on the budget. And it could relieve Obama of the fundamental burden that he has, which is to prove that he's been a success as president. Because while he completely owns the economy, he can make the case that on the deficit, it's Bush and it's Congress and it's him and it's entitlements and it's everything else. And Obama's goal is to make this a choice between 2 alternatives rather than a referendum on his incumbency. And this will make that a little bit easier. We'll talk tomorrow in our video about Medicare, which is going to be the epicenter of the fight between the 2 of them. But for now, let's just look at the qualities that Ryan brings to the ticket. First of all, he is incredibly articulate. He will destroy Biden in the debates. And I'm so looking forward to his having a primetime Wednesday night speech at the convention. That speech could be as much of a turning point, not just in the election, but in American political history, as Sarah Palin's speech was at the 2008 convention. Because finally he'll have a large national audience where he can really articulate and lay out what his thinking is in terms of the budget and the disaster that we face if we're not careful. It could be one of those seminal moments that changes how people think about an issue. And clearly, this decision to put Ryan on the ticket is a decision to make this election about the fundamental issue facing the United States: entitlement reform, welfare reform, all kinds of stuff. On Saturday, we'll talk about the growth of the welfare state. Do you know that 100 million Americans now receive benefits from the government, not counting Social Security and not counting Medicare? 100 million out of a population of just over 300 million. Incredible. So those issues will really come to the fore with Ryan's selection. And they'll come to the fore with a very aggressive, young, charismatic guy up there defending it. So I think it's an inspired choice. I think it clearly sets to rest any conservative's doubt about the intentions of Mitt Romney. And clear the decks. We got a fight on our hands. Nice thing about this fight is it isn't just a case of you get a president elected and then he does the right things. It's a case of when you get elected, you're winning a national referendum over the central issue in American politics, which is curbing these entitlements before they destroy us, before we become Greece. Thanks a lot for watching.